So, did you decide to build Viper?
Why did we decide to build the Viper? Well, a couple of reasons. In the first place, ever since we showed it at the Detroit Auto Show in 1989, we've had thousands of letters from people wanting to send us deposits to buy it. So we then put together a small cross-functional team of about 50 volunteers to do a feasibility study to see if it could be done for a low investment and a piece cost such that we could possibly make some money on it. The answer was yes, it looks like a commercially feasible proposition and a profitable venture for Chrysler, so that's reason number two. Reason number three is the very fact of the way this team operated. We found out that this small team of everybody working together, whether it was engineers, designers, purchasing people, hourly and salaried, including executives, manufacturing people, everybody together we found could do the job better and quicker and for far less money. And that's an important lesson that we've learned. We're going to adapt that lesson to some of our larger vehicle programs.
What are some of the processes that Viper is doing that you could adapt to other programs?
Well, I guess the base process is what you call simultaneous engineering, where instead of the creation of a car being a set of sequential steps, where first you design it, then you engineer it, then you plan manufacture, then you go out and start buying the parts. Here, this group of people represented all of those disciplines, and all of the conflict points and all of the areas where trade-offs had to be made were settled at the beginning of the program. In other words, the designers didn't design anything that the engineers couldn't engineer, and the engineers didn't engineer anything that the manufacturing people ultimately couldn't build, because they were all sitting in the same room. Now, technologically, the car's got some other interesting firsts for us. It's America's first 10-cylinder engine. It's the first all-aluminum engine in the United States for a long, long time. It's maybe the first time that Chrysler has used the engineering expertise of Lamborghini to help us with the casting technology. It's probably the first volume-produced American car that's going to have a tubular space frame. And it's certainly Chrysler's first vehicle with an all-composite body. And then I'd say it's probably the first American car ever, American-produced volume automobile from one of the big three that can reach 60 in under 4 seconds and reach 100 in under 10 seconds and so forth. So the car's got a lot of firsts in it.
Obviously, you will be able to implement a lot that you learn within the Viper program because it is a smaller program. What's the challenge of taking what you learn in Viper and using it in a larger mass production program?
Well, how do we adapt the lessons from Viper to larger, say, volume production programs? That just means that we take the best elements of the team concept and we expand them up to the larger teams that you need for, like on our next generation of mid-size sedans. That team, if memory serves, has about 700 people on it. So naturally it operates in a slightly less, say, easygoing way than the 50-man Viper team. It has to be a little bit organized, but we do want to maintain the essence, that is the team spirit, the accountability staying with that team. And regardless of whether these people in the 700-man team come from purchasing or in supply or manufacturing or engineering or design or finance or marketing, we want them not to identify with their function, because that's been the problem with large American corporations in the past. We want them to identify with the vehicle project that they're working on. And we see that that's working, and that way these interdepartmental barriers break down. You get a much better vehicle much faster and for less money.
These programs with small-scale programs like Viper and large-scale programs like the new mid-size car are obviously things for the future. What are you doing today, though, to continue to bring continuous improvement to current cars?
Well, you're asking me, what is Chrysler doing today to make its cars better, or what have we done over the past few years? Well, we may not have changed a lot of sheet metal for the 1991 model year, but our cars are substantially different. Many of them have brand new engines. We're introducing, for instance, a version of the Dodge Spirit this fall with a 16-valve dual overhead cam engine, one of the highest powered four-cylinder engines in the world. We have all new interiors on, for instance, the LeBaron Coupe, LeBaron Convertible, Dodge Daytona. And we are generally focusing a lot of attention on the types of things that have made people like Japanese and German cars so much. That is the absence of squeaks and rattles, high-quality looking materials, beautiful, velvety, low-gloss plastic parts, knobs and switches that feel good when you touch them and twist them. That's an area where I think American producers were still a little bit deficient a couple of years ago. And that's where I would really encourage people to take a closer look at some of our new cars this fall, or in fact right now.
Is there still time to seduce the customer with things gone right in American cars rather than looking just for things gone wrong?
Well, you're asking, can we still convince the American customer that American cars also have things gone right as opposed to just an absence of things gone wrong? Yes, I think we have to do that. I think we have to accept the challenge that not only do we have to convince many American customers to take a look at our cars and believe us. Actually, all they have to do is look at Consumer Reports results and the statistics out of some of the independent research groups like J.D. Powers and so forth. There is convincing evidence now that American producers in general, and Chrysler in particular, have pulled even with the Japanese in the area of absence of things gone wrong. Now we've got to get that message out. And when that message is out, I hope that people will take a close look at our cars and see that our cars are now also have a lot of things gone right. That is, responsive engines, slick gearboxes, absence of noise, and all of those things I mentioned earlier, like smooth function of knobs and switches and rich-looking materials as opposed to cheap-looking plastic parts, that sort of thing. I think we're pulling even, and in some areas we're passing them, and at lower list prices.